1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Banjo Land, Mike Heading here, coming to you today with a detailed backup lesson for the classic song Rollin' in My Sweet Baby's Arms. We're going to be in the key of A. I've got my capo on the 2nd fret, but a lot of these ideas could work in whatever key you're playing the song in. Okay, I've got 3 times through the chord progression, and we're going to look at some down the neck rolling backup. We're going to look at moving up the neck for the 2nd version of the backup, and then coming back down for the 3rd version. I'm going to break down all 3 versions note for note and then show you a bunch of tips of where I would use these ideas. You could use these to back up a vocalist, a fiddle player, a mandolin, and there's a lot of similarities between Rollin' in My Sweet Baby's Arms and other classic bluegrass songs, so a lot of these ideas you could use in tons of other songs you're playing. And if you're watching the preview of this lesson, you can head over to my website, MikeHeadingMusic.com. You can purchase the full lesson. You'll get access to watching all the videos. You can download the tabs and the practice tracks, and I've got a bunch of practice tracks so you can work on building up your speed as well. Alright, here's Rollin' in My Sweet Baby's Arms in the key of A. Alright, let's start breaking down this backup for Rollin' in My Sweet Baby's Arms. So let me play the first 4 measures and we'll start breaking it down. Here we go. Let's do that a few times. One more time, real slow. Okay, so we're going to start with a pinch on beat 1 of measure 1, and remember, since we're playing backup, there's no pickup to this song. The backup just starts right on the top of the solo, so there's no pickup. So we're going to pinch strings 3 and 1 with our index and middle fingers of our right hand. So that's a quarter note. Then I'm sliding from 2 to 5 on the 4 string with a forward roll, 4, 3, 1, thumb, index, middle. And then I'm going to go up and do 5, 3, 1. So we have, and you can't loop it because it starts and ends with your middle finger, but let's play it a few times. And I like adding this pinch at the beginning. It adds a little pop. Very kind of J.D. Crowe. But another way you could do it is, if you didn't like that pinch, is you could substitute your thumb for that first note and play the open 3rd string. And that way you can loop it if you do it that way. So I would try it either way. Both would be great backup licks. Remember, our melody starts up on the open 2nd string. So our melody's starting up there. So that's why we're staying below the melody. Again, remember, in backup, it's kind of generally a good idea to stay away from the melody. You don't want to play, not that you can never hit the string that the melody is on, but you don't want to play note for note melody. So for this song, I wouldn't start with a 2-4 slide on the 3rd string, because that's the melody. So I'm staying away from the melody there. So let's do it real slow one more time. Don't slide too quick on that 2 to 5 slide. Get a good solid first note there. Now measure 2, we're going to do a fill lick, open 3rd string, and then 5, 3, 1, TIM, back to the open 3rd string, 2nd fret on the 4th string, and then open 1st string. That's just a fill lick. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So let's put 1 and 2 together. A couple more times. One more. think of backup licks, I kind of like to stay away from those really notey licks. You know, there's a place for those, you know, maybe in more advanced backup, but when I'm kind of starting to play backup, especially if I'm thinking in kind of beginner terms, I'm really looking for those kind of rolls and licks that they don't have a lot of melody to them. So again, a lick like get in the way of the melody. It's basically just a fill. Look for those licks. You can steal them a lot from the end of your lead solos. That's a great spot to steal your backup licks. But also kind of just these general vocal fill licks are really good. Now measure 3, we're going to do a variation on measure 2. We're just going to do open 3rd string and 1st string, thumb middle, this time with 8th notes. Then go up and do 5-3-1, again TIM, this time with a 2-3 hammer-on. And then open 3rd string, 2nd fret on the 4th string, and then open 1st string. It's basically the same lick as measure 2. We just added a hammer on and then did 8th notes at the beginning. So listen to the difference. I'll play 2 and 3 back to back. Basically the same lick, just a different way to play that same idea basically. So we're just adding a little hammer on. You also might see measure 3 with a slide. We're going to do that later in this song. Again, so let's play the first 3 measures. So we're just starting with some kind of rolling backup to keep the rhythm going. You know, again, we're using a lot of forward roll that's going to kind of keep the drive of the song going. And we're trying to stay away from the melody, remember. So that's what we're doing at the first 3 measures. Here we go. Measure 4, we're going to do like a bass walk. We're going to hit the open 3rd string, open 4th string, all quarter notes, 1, 2, 2nd fret on the 4th string, 4th fret on the 4th string, and that's going to walk us back up to the open 3rd string. So we have, so think of the melody there, and there's a little pause right there. So that's where I'm doing that lick. A perfect spot in that vocal phrase where there's a pause in the vocal phrase, and that's a perfect spot for me to walk back up. So I'm playing the chords there. We're just playing over a G chord, but I'm just doing like like I said, a bass walk, just like a bass player might do. Measure 5 is the same as measure 1. Pinch string 3 and 1, 2-5 slide on the 4th string, 4-3-1, 5-3-1 TIM. We already did that one in measure 1. So we have that little walk back up is a great lick. Into measure 6, open 3rd string, and then thumb middle outside strings, 5 and 1. So we have 1, 2, and so beat 1's a quarter note, 1, 2, and then we're basically going to do that bass walk just in the other direction. We're going to walk it down to our D chord. So instead of walking up, now we're basically walking down. So remember your bass walks, or in this case banjo walks, but it's kind of reminiscent of a bass walk that a bass player might do. Remember your bass walks work both directions. So you can walk up or you can walk down. So remember, save that for future use. Your bass walks can always work both directions. So again, 6 we have, and then open D string is going to start measure 7. Let's do 5 and 6. Here we go. And I like using my 3rd and 1st finger there to walk that down. But you could experiment with other fingers. You could probably use just 1 finger if you wanted to walk it down. But I like using 2 fingers there. And then open D string. Remember, that's going to start measure 7. That's going to be a quarter note. And then we're going to do a little lick. This is a classic Scruggs fill lick. Let me play 7 and 8. It's kind of a 2-measure lick, and then I'll break it down. Do that a few times. So classic Scruggs D lick. Open 4th string. And we're going to go into this 3-finger D chord. do index and middle. So 3rd fret, 2nd string, and then 4th fret, 1st string. So we have 1, 2, and then we're going to do a little single string lick on the 3rd string, 4th fret on the 3rd string, and then 2nd fret on the 3rd string. I'm using my 3rd and 1st finger there, so we have. Just do the right hand if you're having trouble. Remember, you're working out of this shape. Your 3rd finger is moving back and forth from these 4th frets on the 4th and 3rd string. And then down to the 4th fret, 4th string, take your pinky off and do 4th fret, 1st string. So we have. Just looping measure 7. Pretend they're all zeros if you're having trouble. So that single string lick on the 3rd string is the trickiest part there. So you'll see that lick all the time. There's lots of variations on this idea. Now measure 8. 3rd finger back on the 3rd fret, 2nd string. Play that note with your index finger of your right hand. Move your 3rd finger to the 4th fret, 3rd string, play that note with your thumb. Take your 3rd finger off and your 2nd finger off and do 2 open 3rd string, 2nd string, and then 4th string, 1st string with the 4th fret down. Probably easier to play than explain. Let's do it. It's kind of basically a bass walk in itself. We're doing a little lick. Right here is a little walk down. Hear how that walks back to a G? So that's what we're doing there. We're just doing a little fancy walk down. And I'm just filling it up with a little more picking too. See that lick all the time. Scruggs used it all the time. J.D. Crowe used that lick all the time. Again, there's tons of variations on that with different right hand combinations, maybe doing pull-offs. But all those licks basically have the same characteristic of that little walk down. You also might hear it in C. So, a very common Scruggs fill lick. Let's do it a few more times. Measure 9.